Oh no, I forgot to connect my AirPod. We should be good. Shout out to the gang in here. I'm trying to connect my sound. You know, it's Tuesday. We be struggling up in here sometimes. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the gang in the building. You know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. Looking all crispy and clean on the screen. And welcome back to another YouTube live stream. And welcome to another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE, of patreon.com/ClassEbeats, by the way. The link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. I know you all saw the breaking news with what's going on with Joy Taylor and FS1. It's absolutely insane. And not only has Joy Taylor been fired, but we're going to talk about the 2 other shows that have been just completely abolished and obliterated from FS1. We're going to talk about that. We've got some updates on the Diddy trial. We got a little bit more of Karen Reed. We're going to hear from some of the legal experts on what Alan Jackson's letter actually means to Commissioner Cox over there. So we'll be talking about to start the show. But before I get into it, y'all know I got to say what's up to the people, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Good to see all of y'all in here this morning on this Taco Tuesday. Let me see who we've got in the building. Shout out to my awesome, amazing Amy's in here. Amy's in the building. My dog Sean P is up in here. He said Joy will be fine. Boy, y'all gotta, man, come on. We cannot be that simple. Les Cleaver is in the building. We got Jay Buckmaster. A-Fitz is up in here. Taco Tuesday. It's your day. Thank you for being here. CPE is in here. We've got Valencia back at it. Good to see y'all as well. Good morning to everyone who's in here. All right. You guys know I do not ask for much on this show, but the one thing that I do ask is that you all like the video on your way in. Not only is it free, it helps the show continue to grow. It lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show. It shares the video, the channel, this live stream out with more people. So if you could take a second and do that, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And so many of y'all have done that already. Nearly 700 of you have liked the video. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for doing that. And I appreciate every single one of you that liked the video so far. Also, if you're feeling extra generous, you guys can share out the video as well. You can share it on X, Instagram, Snapchat, your group chat, and text message. You can share it anywhere that you are and let people know that we're live. So if you want to take an extra step and share out the video, I would appreciate that as well. So many of you guys come in here every day and share the video too. All right. I will be reading super chats as we go throughout the show. So again, thank you to everyone who goes the extra mile and sends in super chats. Let me see who we got in here so far. Shout out to my dog, Les Cleaver in the building. One of the hardest working folks in the YouTube community. He says with the 5 bomb, happy Taco Tuesday all. May each of you have a blessed day, a safe day, and a productive day filled with love and happiness. Praise God and amen. Shout out to Les Cleaver in here. Thank you for always supporting Les. I hope you have a great work day as well. We've got my awesome, amazing Amy in here with the 5 memberships. And she gifted the membership so y'all can enjoy all of the amazing benefits of being a member over here. So if you haven't yet, make sure you say thank you to Amy for gifting those 5 memberships. Thank you, Amy, for all the support that you give. And make sure if you got a membership, you go check out the members only content. Your name will be highlighted in green. And of course, you also get to use some custom emojis and things we have as well. And you get instant access to any video that we drop here on the channel. So thank you again. And big shout out to Amy for always showing support. Did I miss anybody else in here? Shout out to all the amazing members in here as well. Y'all are always showing up and showing out. You said Joy Taylor will be fine. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I mean, she's tried to start a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel was not doing great. We're actually going to get into it here in a second, but let me see if I can find what is Joy Taylor's YouTube channel. Because for somebody who had that big of a platform and to have a YouTube channel that wasn't doing the greatest, it was surprising to see. Let me see if I can find her YouTube channel on here. I don't think it was called Joy Taylor. I think it was called something else. She had a Joy Taylor YouTube channel she posted on 6 months ago. Not doing great at the beginning of the year. And then she had another one she was doing with another female as well. I cannot remember her name, but either way, it is what it is. Virginia Wiley's in here as well. Good morning, Virginia. we're going to get right into the show here shortly. Again, if y'all haven't yet, please make sure that you like the video. All right. So let's go ahead and get it started. We're going to kick off the show with a Diddy update here. And this one's going to be very interesting because you guys know we've been covering what's been going on with the Diddy trial. We've been covering any updates we saw here. Of course, there was supposed to be a hearing to where the defense and the prosecution were going to talk about possibly getting Diddy's sentencing expedited. And what happened was the defense, they met with the prosecution before that hearing and they said, you know what, Your Honor, we're just going to wait. We're not going to rush it. Diddy can stay there until October 3rd. And the judge said, fine, Diddy can stay there. After that happened, the judge came out and said, hey, while we're waiting, this is a very unusual case. Not only because the federal cases, they don't really lose this bad, because let's be real, the prosecution did not do a great job with this case. And this case was BS to start with. So the judge said, I'm going to need help finding cases that have been tried in this way, where a defendant was up for RICO, he was up for trafficking, and the only thing he was found guilty of was flying some chicks out to have some adult fun. So I need you guys to help me find this. Prosecution, I need y'all to do your job and see what you can find. Well, it seems like the prosecution might actually be having some issues finding that type of decision from a judge or that type of verdict from a jury, because we're going to get into, as reported here by TMZ and Harvey Levin over at TMZ, that it's looking like there might be a tall task when it comes to trying to find similar cases, and Diddy possibly could not do any time at all. So let's look into this and see what Harvey had to say about what's going on in the Diddy trial.
So a couple of updates on Diddy. We have not fully
I had it on super speed. I apologize, y'all. Let me slow that down just a little bit.
confirmed this. We are hearing that Diddy is enrolled in a domestic violence and a drug treatment program, two separate ones, while behind bars. This is a common program offered to most all inmates. We have not been able to confirm. We're getting some conflicting information on it, but we are hearing that he is participating in those two programs. To me, and by the way, for two reasons. One, he clearly needs help. I think we heard that from the trial. Whichever way you come out, he needs help, and that's clear. And the second reason is that he's going to be sentenced. And one of the things judges look at is, is this person rehabilitated or trying to rehabilitate themselves? So you could argue the rehabilitation should be don't hire prostitutes, because that's all he was convicted of.
That's true.
And so it's not so much the domestic violence and everything else, because he was never tried for that. And when it came to, using force or coercion against Cassie or Jane, he was found not guilty.
Well, also, we did find out, looking back and researching how judges make these types of decisions, the judge can factor in the evidence that was shown during the case in making a decision on the sentencing, or in Diddy's case, if he was going to be granted bail. And that's exactly what happened with the judge here. The judge said, I don't know. He already admitted to being violent. He already admitted to committing the domestic, you know what? So we're just going to go ahead. Diddy, you're going to stay in here until you're sentenced. But how will that look moving forward with his sentencing? We don't know yet.
So when you think about it, what is the point of drug treatment and anything else if he wasn't really found guilty of that? He was found guilty of hiring prostitutes and sending them across state lines. But optics matter.
That's true.
And there was testimony about his violence. So I think if he's doing this, which we're hearing he is, it's probably a good idea. Now, the second thing,
maybe that's why they kept him in there.
The judge asked the prosecution to come up with a list of cases where the Mann Act was used, but the John was prosecuted and sent to jail. And I am hearing from some people inside this case
not going to be easy to find.
Prosecutors may have trouble coming up with that list because typically it's not the Johns that are prosecuted under the Mann Act. And that makes this very, very interesting in terms of sentencing. That if, yeah, he was convicted, but they can't find any other cases where the Johns face serious jail time.
Allegedly.
The defense is going to say, this is selective prosecution. You're singling out one guy and throwing the book at him when that's not the way the legal system has worked in the past.
Well, and not only are they singling out one guy, but as we saw throughout this trial, all the witnesses that came up for the prosecution that weren't law enforcement were given immunity. So you want to talk about singling out one guy? Hey, Cassie, we know you were involved in the freak-offs. We know that you were hiring escorts. We know that you deceived some of them, as Mr. Clayton Howard is alleging in his recent lawsuit. And you're giving them false names and trying to get them to the hotel. You're participating in this. We'll give you immunity. Hey, Jane Doe, we know you did some things. We'll give you immunity. Hey, Diddy's former security guard. We get it. The only way you're going to talk is if we give you immunity. Okay, there you go. We just want Diddy. It's disgusting.
Past. It's up to prosecutors to come up with that list. And they may not be able to. And that's going to be really interesting in October when Diddy is sentenced. Now, look, he could get 10 years. That is not going to happen. He's not going to get 5 years. Even prosecutors are saying 4.
Wow.
But he's not going to get 4. I think he is going to get between 1 and 2 years. And if they can't come up with that list, it's going to be in the lower end. And remember, by October, he'll have already served a year. And so I know this sounds kind of crazy, but depending on what happens, Diddy could be out by Christmas. And
you guys believe that?
I think that's a real possibility. This is not a serious prison time case. It's just not. And especially if they can't find like cases where Johns had significant jail time or prison time. I just don't see it. So could he be out by Christmas? I think he could. Could he be out by Thanksgiving? I actually think that's a possibility.
Oof, I don't know if I agree with Harvey on that. And you guys have heard my prediction in the past, maybe a few years to serve plus probation. It just seems like this judge is taking into factor everything that was presented during the case. Now, he has a maximum, obviously, of 20 years that he could serve based on the 2 counts he was found guilty on. But I don't see the judge doing that either. So I want to know what y'all think about that in the comments in the chat as we move into this next section, where we hear again from one of the jurors on the Diddy trial talking about exactly what we just mentioned, what the defense was able to do during the trial and why he thinks specifically that the prosecution lost the major parts of their case. All right. Diddy juror points to where defense poked holes in the prosecution's case to get racketeering acquittal. Check this out. And we've heard from this gentleman before as well.
I mean, there were always moments where there was, when the defense really was able to get in. I mean, one that really stood out for me, I even wrote it in my notes, was the cross-examination of Dawn Richard. But Miss Westmoreland.
Shout out to Nicole Westmoreland.
Her cross-examination of her, and even Bana. I mean, it was. She definitely poked. She definitely poked holes. I think that's why they had her do that. But just to see how she did it, it was really something to behold.
And again, guys, we talked about this too, just with how the jury viewed Cassie's testimony and Jane Doe's testimony, right? They obviously did not find Cassie's testimony credible, because if they did, then they would have convicted him of trafficking, which they did not. All the jury said by finding Diddy guilty on these 2 counts was that, hey, Diddy was guilty of flying some chicks out to have some fun. And according to the law, you're not able to do that. All this, I felt coerced. Oh, woe is me. I'm a victim. There's a whole organization. They weren't feeling that. They weren't feeling it at all. And now the judge is going to have to make a decision moving forward based off of those facts. So is Cassie's credibility going to be factored in there? I don't know. It's so hard to see because they're saying, no, she wasn't trafficked, but also the Mann Act does apply here. It's weird to see. A jury of his peers found rapper Sean Diddy Combs not guilty of the most serious charges he had been facing on July 2nd. On that day, the jury told the courtroom the government had not proved the disgraced music mogul participated in a racketeering conspiracy or trafficking. However, Diddy was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, as you all well know. An alternate juror who represented his badge or who presented his badge to Fox News Digital for confirmation explained where Diddy's defense had poked holes in the prosecution's case. And then we heard the video there, right? Former Danity Kane singer Dawn Richards testified that she told Diddy's ex-girlfriend ClassE to leave the rapper after witnessing him physically assault the musician. Diddy and Richard were in the recording studio when he allegedly said what was witnessed the day before was passion and what people in relationships do. I mean, maybe their relationship was that way. He claimed ClassE was okay and that it was best if they didn't say anything. The rapper allegedly said, that's where he's from. People go missing. Richard heard his words to mean that people end up dead. Dang. Diddy's attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, brought up inconsistencies in Richard's multiple interviews with prosecutors. The defense attorney also highlighted the fact that the singer hadn't disclosed Diddy's alleged threat against her life until a week before the trial. Jeez. Diddy's defense also intensely cross-examined Brianna. I'm going to mess up her name. We're going to call her BB, a friend of ClassE. BB, who sometimes went by the nickname Bana, testified that Diddy dangled her off the ledge of a 17-story balcony. During cross-examination, Westmoreland was able to get Bana to admit she couldn't remember details of the alleged incident. Well, there you go, guys. I can see y'all saying it in the comments and in the chat. Is this another Yak Gotti situation where this Diddy's sitting in jail just for flying chicks out? It's looking to be that way. What the judge is going to decide when it comes to his sentencing is another thing. Let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. How much time is Diddy going to have to do in jail, if any? I'll be interested to know what you guys think. And again, it's this justice system, this judicial system is so hard to watch in some cases. Because the most serious charges Diddy was found not guilty of, the judge wants to say, no, I'm not going to let you out because of the reasons that were stated before when I denied your bail. And now we're at the end of the trial. I'm going to deny it for the same reason. And because you admitted that you're violent, I got to keep you in here. That makes no sense. Even if DV were a part of this case, and that were the situation, Diddy's just not out here beating people, according to the evidence. There was one specific person he had an interaction with in a relationship with, and how that would make him a danger to society, I don't know. But again, I'm not a judge. I'm just looking at this as someone with a little bit of common sense. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Appreciate the gang. Thank y'all for being in the building. And thank you to all 700 plus of you that liked the video as well. Cynthia Hartson here says, if the judge won't grant bail, will he give him probation? You would think so. Hopefully 2 years, credit for time served, and 1 on probation. You guys are being generous. Can't the state still prosecute Diddy for DV or the statute of limitations in effect? Yes, the time has passed for that. So no DV. People do go missing around Diddy. Allegedly. And that's what they're saying. Y'all are talking about the ads. Oh, 50% off all of that's crazy. Again, Diddy is a woman beater, but that does not equate to RICO. Yeah, I think that was proven throughout the case. Good morning, y'all, says in blue. Good morning to everybody who's in here, by the way. Westmoreland price went up. Yep. Time served, continue seeking help. Either way, he's getting out. Maybe 4 years probation. I think the majority of it's going to be probation. So I agree with y'all on that. It's time served. They should have brought a better case. They singled him out. They could have had, think about this, guys. If they hadn't given so many of their witnesses immunity, they may actually could have made a case for RICO. Think about it. If you throw ClassE in there, just throw her under the bus, make her take the stand as a co-conspirator. If you put the security guard up there, make him take the stand as a co-conspirator. If you put, let's not even say Jane Doe, anybody else, Capricorn Clark, Jaguar Wright, anyone, put them up there with Diddy, you might have a solid case for a conspiracy. I don't know, but they decided not to do that. Obviously, they needed ClassE and they tried to leverage what they could to get her to testify, and it didn't work out for them. We got Brock in here with the 5-bomb. Says shout out to my guy, G. Keep grinding, bro. Hit the like button, please. Y'all like the video. Likes are free. Come on. I know you can do it. You don't want probation, do your time and walk free. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would take probation than being in jail. Maybe it depends on the type of jail. But I can stay in the house. I have no problem staying inside. I'm not going to speed. I'm not going to run a red light. I'll maybe hop in an Uber and go to the grocery store. But man, I'm not. No. Give me the probation. I do not want to sit in jail. I need some semblance of freedom. I'm sure Diddy is tired of being in there. Amy says you can get probation in federal court. Yep, but it's less common than in state courts and depends heavily on these factors. And before I read what the factors are, with that being said, because this is so unique, because the prosecution brought a BS case, there might be an instance to where probation would be something that the judge would consider, which is one of the reasons I brought it up. But Amy says it's less common to get probation, federal probation, than it is in the state courts. And it depends heavily on the crime committed. Federal probation is usually only an option for nonviolent, lower level offenses, which this is. We even heard from several attorneys that in another state or at the state level, this transportation to participate in prostitution or to engage in prostitution would be a misdemeanor in some cases. So again, this could qualify. So federal probation is usually only an option for nonviolent, lower level offenses like certain white collar crimes, drug possession, not trafficking, or immigration violations. Federal judges use the U.S. sentencing guidelines, which provide a recommended range of punishments. While not mandatory, judges often follow them closely. If the guidelines suggest 0 to 6 months, probation is possible. Defendants with little to no criminal history, which Diddy has, are more likely to get probation. If the defendant pleads guilty and cooperates, prosecutors may recommend a lighter sentence, which they already have, including probation. Ultimately, the judge decides. They consider the nature of the offense, impact on victims, risk to the community, and the defendant's character. What probation looks like in federal court. Federal probation isn't a slap on the wrist. It often includes strict supervision, travel restrictions, employment, and drug testing requirements, possible home confinement, or electronic monitoring. Shout out to Amy for that. Yeah. Take that. Get me out of here and you can watch me at home. I'm not trying to be in federal prison, man. Which I've seen some federal prisons. There's some nice federal prisons, but now I'm good. I don't want to do that. I can't remember what's Diddy's criminal history. He has none. Yeah, I'm doubling down on doing the time after what Amy just posted. No, thank you. I don't think Diddy has ever been officially convicted of anything. I know he's been charged with a lot, but never a conviction. Yeah, he should be released on October 3rd then. I think the Mann Act is BS. It absolutely 1000% is. Yeah, I agree with you guys on that one for sure. Come on, Diddy was dropping mad wads of cash for many of these happy participants. They were happy at the time, but now they realize
it appears that I made a mistake.
And they got paid. Even ClassE chose her picks allegedly. It's not alleged. It's evidence. It's facts and evidence. It is a fact and evidence that ClassE participated, picked them, and played. So it is what it is. We got Cynthia Hartson here with the 10 bomb. Says, so glad I made it today. I'm glad you made it here as well, Cynthia. I get excited when I make a live show. I have missed you, Amy, and my CEB family. Thank you for being here, Cynthia, and I hope you're doing well. And appreciate you going the extra mile and dropping the 10 bomb. Keep the lights on here on the ClassE Morning Show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, I don't know. I can't get with y'all on doing the time. I do not want to do time in prison. I don't want to do time in jail. No, let me go and I'll just stay in the house. If these girls are 18 plus and consenting, why is it a problem? Because we talked about this, Noah. Consent can be removed at any time. So when talking about consent laws, you can go back in time and say, oh, I didn't like that. I do that. Well, there goes your consent. I'm grossly simplifying what I'm saying, but that's the way it be. Just look at a lot of the consent laws and you'll find out. I've reviewed a lot of them here. We're not going to go through it today, though. Diddy brought this on himself 1000%. No one made him manipulative and abusive. Yeah, and if, again, keep that same energy is what I always say. If you're going to say that about Diddy, you got to say it about, as Noah mentioned, the willing participants too. Or was he just this manipulative and nobody was really a willing participant? Is that what we're going to say? I mean, come on, let's not do that. They were adults. They knew what they were doing. Let's go. Shout out to In Blue in the building with the 5 bomb. Says, agreed, Cynthia. I appreciate y'all liking and watching the live show. We have a lot of fun here and some great interactions. And I love hearing y'all's thoughts in the chat as well. So thank you guys for being active and making this the amazing morning show that it is. We've got 1,300 of you in the building. If you guys could, please make sure that you like the video on your way in. Guys, I'm going to beg for likes until I'm no longer on YouTube, which is going to be a while. So if you could, make sure you like the video on your way in. It's free, helps the channel continue to grow. All right, let's go ahead and get back into Karen Reed, the gift that keeps on giving. Listen, guys, I mean, I thought we were going to be moving on from Karen Reed for a while, but it just seems like every week there's something else coming up about Karen Reed. Now, you know, we talked about in the previous video, Alan Jackson, he wrote a letter to the commissioner saying, hey, Officer Dever, you need to get her on the Brady list. And what the Brady list is that's the list that says this person has testified in the past, their testimony was found untruthful, and they've been participated in certain things that would not be favorable to a defendant and wouldn't be fair to a defendant. So if this person is going to take the stand again, they go on this list. And if they're brought forward, it tells the defense, hey, just so you guys know, when this person was brought onto the stand at X date on X date, they lied. They lied. Their testimony wasn't credible. And we're going to put them on this list just so you guys are aware. So here you go. Have at it. And it's really a way to make sure that someone doesn't testify again, if we're being honest. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get into some legal experts, a couple of who you might recognize, and they're actually going to be talking about and covering and addressing what Alan Jackson said in this letter, as we did here. And from a legal perspective, what this means moving forward for the Karen Reed trial, for Officer Dever's career, and what possibly could happen to past cases that she's involved in and testified in as well. All right, check this out.
Hi, everybody. This is Ted. Just when I thought it was done and I had my last conversation with Peter Tragos, we have a new development in the Karen Reed case that came up. Peter is coming from a place very far away. Where are you right now, bud?
Shout out to
I'm
the
in Greece,
lawyer,
man,
you know?
the motherland.
Nice.
Visiting back to my roots.
Love it. What have you guys been doing?
We were around Athens for a few days. It was awesome. Visited a bunch of the sites, and now we're cruising, kind of island hopping. Looking forward to the rest of the trip. It's been awesome.
All right. Well, I think I would trade places with you in a heartbeat. All right. The reason why we are talking is I got my hands on this, and I shared it with Peter. I don't know how well you can see it. It's a letter that Alan Jackson wrote to Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox. Of course, Jackson is Karen Reed's attorney from LA. And the letter specifically talks about Officer Kelly Dever, who testified in Reed's second trial.
Dever.
And Jackson is asking that Dever be placed on the Brady list. Can you tell people what the Brady list is and what that means if you're a police officer and you get tagged with that?
It's not good. It means that there is something to use against you for all the criminal defense lawyers and criminal defendants for any cases that you worked on. It means that you have done something wrong. And in this scenario, he wants other lawyers to know anytime Ms. Dever is on a case, they should be able to ask her about her false memories and issues that stemmed from the Karen Reed trial.
So just to remind everybody, during the trial, Jackson asked Dever about statements that she made to the FBI, where Dever, according to Jackson, said that she saw then Chief Ken Berkowitz of Canton Police and ATF agent Brian Higgins in the Sally Porter garage of the Canton Police Department for a, quote, wildly long time with Karen Reed's SUV. When Dever got on the stand in the retrial, Jackson started asking her about that, and she said that was a false memory. So that is essentially the basis of the claim FBI. that Jackson has made, that, hey, that, you know, and I mean, he goes in typical Jackson style. He says, quote, either Officer Dever lied about having a false memory or she actually suffers from a condition that subjects her to false memories.
And we said this when we talked about it in the last video. This is not someone, listen, this is not someone you want to have testified. This is not someone you want to have on your police force. And can you guys imagine getting pulled over for a traffic ticket and this person, either they say they have a false memory and they don't remember why they shot you? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Things escalated and I don't remember. It was tough. Like who wants to have this person walking around with a badge and a gun? Not I.
I mean, that's classic Jackson, in my opinion.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. She's an officer. She's testifying. People's lives are on the line. Her work is very important. If she is somebody that's either A, willing to lie, like you said, or B, somebody who creates false memories for when it happened, we were all like, what does that even mean? If you're somebody that does that as an officer, you shouldn't have people's lives in your hands. I mean, I think that's just something that's true. And I think that's something most criminal defense lawyers would argue on cases where their clients were subjected to work, testimony, police work at all by Ms. Dever. And this is something that comes up. This Brady list is something that comes up in discovery. Every case, criminal defense attorneys will ask, hey, turn over everything you have on these officers. Is there any Brady material? Is there anything? Brady material is exculpatory information that proves your client's innocent, but it is also information that's good for your client, information that could impeach state witnesses or Commonwealth witnesses in this jurisdiction. This is spot on. This has to be Brady material. She has to be on the Brady list. Other criminal defendants and criminal defense attorneys need to know about this in any past cases she has worked on and any future cases she may work on.
There you go.
I mean, could this just be an honest mistake, though, by Dever? That she said, I think that she might have been influenced by a lot of what she saw in the news and on the media. And then first of all, we don't even know if Boston police will even consider this. And if they do they factor in? Do they bring her in? Do they interview her? Or can they just say, no, Alan Jackson, we're not listening to you?
So there's a couple things I want to say to your question. It's a really good question. Number one, I don't know what Boston police is going to do, but can I tell you what a prosecutor should do? If I'm looking at it as a prosecutor and she's on my case, I'm turning this over. I'm not taking the chance that we go to trial, we win, we get a conviction, we put the bad guy away, and we lose on appeal because we didn't turn over this exculpatory information that I, as a lawyer, I would like a lawyer to argue with a straight face that this is not an issue. And then number two, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, one of the things I talk about a lot on YouTube is give people grace. I really want to do that. I try to do that my best. I try to do that with Hank Brennan a lot through this trial. She erased that by saying she created a false memory. And we don't have to change it from her own words. When people tell you who they are, I like to listen to them. She said, I created a false memory, and that alone. So, you know, is she a liar? Did she create a false memory? We don't have to call her a liar, but let's say she created a false memory. That is impeachment material and impeachment information that all criminal defense lawyers and criminal defendants that have Kelly Dever on their case should be able to use against her at trial.
Okay, that's interesting. So regardless if there was any motivation there, you're saying the fact that it happened, it came out during one of the most high profile cases in the country, that will probably stick with her. And that's one of the things Jackson talks about the letter. Essentially says, hey, you can choose to ignore this, but you're going to run into constitutional issues down the road. And is that what you're getting to?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a prosecutor, you don't want this
previous
mess.
cases
You don't want
too.
this to happen. This is going to be something that is significantly difficult for Ms. Dever to get over. That this happened. That's something we talked about when the trial happened. That how do you deal with this now? And also, you can quibble sometimes if you're an officer and you maybe change an element or a detail in your testimony. And you say, "Oh, I made a mistake or I was wrong," or whatever it may be. That's very different than saying you created a false memory. It's difficult to quibble with her own words in this scenario.
And also, Officer Dever, when she took the stand, she was asked, "Have you testified before?" She said she's testified numerous times before. So what's going to happen to those times that she testified? How are we going to move forward from that?
The timing of this is interesting. It comes one day after Commissioner Cox was asked about Kelly Dever. It was the first time he was doing a news conference on another topic. I was not there, but I watched what he said, and I found his statements interesting. He said that he really did not know that Dever was involved in this case, that, you know, he has 3,000 officers, and it was something that he seemed to say, "Hey, I don't know what you guys are talking about." And to me, I thought that was strange, just because it was so high profile. I mean, granted, this conversation that Dever had or testified that she had with Commissioner Cox would have been before the first trial, so maybe 2023, early 24. But what were your thoughts on that? The fact that Michael Cox essentially said that he didn't remember this conversation.
He said, "Who is Kelly Dever?"
Number one, I'm not poking fun here. This is not a joke. If I was going to say Commissioner Cox is correct and Ms. Dever is wrong, you'd go straight to, this is somebody who's already admitted creating false memories. Did she do it again? And that's exactly the position that a lot of criminal defendants may be in if it's a he said, she said situation with Ms. Dever. More realistically, maybe he forgot. Maybe he doesn't want to admit it. Maybe he wants to move on. Maybe he thinks at this point that case is over, which is kind of what he mentioned in the discussion or the interview. That case is over. Let's move on. I don't remember having anything to do with Karen Reed's case, and it's not going to come up in court, which I think it would if we had another trial and these lawyers were dealing with it. But maybe it'll just kind of go away without people talking about it. But there's no way to look at Commissioner Cox's statements and Kelly Dever's testimony and not see them as completely opposed.
Yeah, so he just quoting from what Commissioner Cox said yesterday, he said, quote, "I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case." And this person, I believe, is Kelly Dever. But Kelly Dever's memory was that, you know, they had a meeting. I think at one point it was just her and the commissioner. She was a rookie officer. And that's one of the things that Jackson kind of questioned her about during the trial. Like, hey.
Yeah, he grilled her about this. He said, "So you don't remember what happened being a rookie officer and you get called to the commissioner's office, the person who has the highest level, and you don't remember what was said? You don't remember what happened? Is that normal? Had you been called before? What did he say to you?" And she's just like, "Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a big deal." And then she gets a promotion and gets to go and join the Boston PD. Come on, man.
Hey, is that usual that rookies are being called up to have a conversation, a private conversation with the commissioner? I think at some point Dever said that there was the general counsel for Boston Police was involved in these conversations. So it just struck me as sort of strange that, you know, I get it that he doesn't want to, he wants to kind of move on from the issue, but, you know, these are kind of two diametrically opposed statements.
Yeah, they just don't jive. And by the way, what I said about Kelly Dever at the beginning of this conversation with Commissioner Cox, her detail sure seems like it happened. I tend to believe that this conversation happened. So where does that take us? I don't really know. Probably somewhere Commissioner Cox doesn't want to go. And that creates the issue with this entire situation is what's happening. Is it from a ground up situation? Is it from the top down where they're trying to protect each other? And I think a good indication may be what happens to Kelly Dever now, because I think to have her investigate cases and be a cop that testifies, that might be completely gone and something that she can't do and be a career ender. But will Commissioner Cox protect her? Will he give her some other job? Maybe something more administrative that she can stay out of the limelight, out of the courtroom. Well, this will not affect her. Will he look out for her? And if he doesn't, how will she respond? Because if I was her, I wouldn't like the comments he was making publicly, basically saying either it was insignificant or I didn't say anything about Karen Reed's case. Or again, if we're going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, maybe he was just having a normal conversation with a rookie cop and she took it to be specific about the Karen Reed case. I think that's a possible explanation that if I was Commissioner Cox, maybe that's what I would point to. I talked to all the rookie cops. I was telling them, you know, it's so important important what you do testifying in these cases. You make or break your career as a testifying witness. So make sure you go tell the truth and do your best. And she, because she had Karen Reed on the mind, she's subpoenaed by the defense team. Maybe she's nervous. She's a young cop. She took it to mean Karen Reed, but he never said it. Something in the interview, I think he said he's never strung those two words together, Karen Reed, in a sentence before, something to that effect. So maybe that's what he meant. Maybe that's what he was thinking. If we're giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, I think that's best case scenario for them.
Yeah, I don't think you can't give him the benefit of the doubt when he didn't say that. He said, he being the commissioner said, yeah, we like to encourage all of our officers. And then he went on to say, this officer you're talking about, I don't know. I didn't even know she was involved in the Karen Reed case. I didn't know what was going on with Karen Reed. I was in Michigan. I didn't get here until 4 months later. So, hey, listen, guys, I don't know why you're talking to me or asking me about this. It's not a big deal. There's nothing there. Well, why deny it? Why deny it in that instance? It doesn't make sense. Now, if you want to give the benefit of the doubt to Kelly Dever and say, oh, maybe she just felt like she was being pressured by him because of the Karen Reed case and he didn't bring up Karen Reed at all, that doesn't make sense. So none of this makes no sense. He didn't call this officer, as he said, by name. It seems like they're just warming up the bus to throw Kelly Dever underneath it. So I want to know what y'all think about this. Some good insight from a lawyer you know, and Ted as well over at Boston 25. What do y'all think? Is Kelly Dever in trouble? Are they throwing her under the bus? Are they going to move her to an administrative role to where she's off the streets? Again, I don't see how they could do that, because what if she has to testify in another case, even though she's in an administrative role? Then that would be bad. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. And shout out to the gang. It's good to see all of y'all in the building, man. We got over 800 of you in here, and wow, so many of y'all like the video. 1,300 of you like the video. Thank you guys for being here and showing some love. What's going to happen to Officer Dever, who apparently the commissioner had never heard of? Let me know what y'all think. He wasn't convincing. This is going to be very interesting. If she's telling the truth, they can fire her, or she can make things even worse for the commissioner. Well, essentially, if what she's saying is true, but what if she does? What if she does come out and she says, oh yeah, this is what happened. This happened. This happened. The commissioner said this, he did this. And the commissioner just says, hey, listen, you guys saw her on the stand. She has a problem with her memories. She lied to FBI agents. So, I mean, y'all gonna believe her? Or are you gonna believe me? Shout out to Slim Life in the building with the 5 bomb. Says ClassE, Amy, and my amazing family going to Hershey Park. Oh, dope. So I'll be MIA until Friday. Hope everyone is having a good week. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Slim Life, and have fun out there at Hershey Park. I have not been yet, but it's on the list. It's on the list. She's not innocent because she protected the thin blue line. Yeah, the blue wall of silence, I think they call it. She should bury them and write a book. Well, I mean, she would have to move out of the state and go into hiding if she did that. Her career is over anyway. Dang. Oh, man, that's tough. Yep, her career is over. All they would have to do is remind her of her false memories. Exactly. Yep. The commissioner said at the very end of the clip that he was in Michigan at the time as well. Yes, he was in Michigan at the time that John O'Keefe died. But he was the commissioner well after that. Because we looked at his Wikipedia page and it said he got there, I believe, in around April of some point in 2022. So he was there. I don't know why he's acting like, oh yeah, I was just in Michigan for the first Karen Reed trial and the second one. No, he was right here. If I was Dever, I'm coming out against her bosses. I mean, I think the best thing she would have to do is just sit tight and take whatever position that they give her, because if she gets fired, then she can maybe sue for wrongful termination, I guess, and get something there. If they keep her on the force, then she might be assigned to some type of desk duty, just like the lawyer mentioned. So I don't know. It's tough in here. Oh, shout out to Amy with the cake. Always bringing the cake right on time. Thank you, Amy, for the super sticker. I appreciate you for that. And a reminder that it is almost lunchtime. Having false memories ain't gonna keep you on the force. Bye, ma'am. Knowing there's an officer that is willing to do that. And you guys remember, I need to go back and pull up her testimony. You remember what she said when she was on the stand? She basically was like, hey, the only reason I'm here and I'm saying this is because I don't want to lose my job. If I don't get up here and I don't say what I'm supposed to say, then I'll get fired. She said this on the stand. It was wild. And people are taking it and saying, oh, well, she's just saying that she has to get up there and tell the truth. So yes, she's saying she's telling the truth now, but she lied to the FBI and she created a false memory. So that makes her more credible because she's telling the truth now. And the FBI said, hey, she talked to some lawyers over at the FBI. They said, hey, don't worry about it. People create false memories all the time. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Really? She didn't mind trying to bury Karen Reed, though. They had a hold of a bunch of officers who lied. So what's new? Yeah. Or try and work out some deal under the table. Well, you got to sleep with one eye open, though, if you do that, especially in Boston. I bet she could get them to settle for a big number, then sign the NDA. No, they just spent a couple million on this case. I don't think they have the funds. Yes, she did. That false memory stuff is, yep. What else did y'all say? She buried herself. I agree. Having false memories ain't going to keep you on the force. Oh, I already read that one. Yeah, Dever is too, oh my goodness, unintelligent to put everything in writing. A boss makes a suggestion to me, then I'm confirming it in an email to him. Yes, boss, I will do X, Y, Z as you suggest. Brian's smart. Shout out to Brian. Yep, no handshakes around here. I'm still trying to figure out what a false memory is. Oh, and it's not that she had a false memory, right? It isn't that she said, oh, well, maybe I wasn't in my uniform that day. Or maybe that day I was thinking that it happened on Tuesday. No, what she's saying is I created a story that is entirely false. It's not true. That never even happened. And she said she doubled down on it, on her bad memory, and said, you know what? It couldn't have been true because my shift ended before that and I wouldn't have even been there. So I don't know. I just made this story up for what reason? The Boston PD would be footing the bill. There's no way they have that money in their budget. She was hallucinating. I don't know. She was on something. She was so cocky, too cocky for someone sorting. They're ruining her own life. Actually, never mind. It's still the Commonwealth. Yeah. She isn't lying, chat. She just created a new narrative. Exactly. She said she created a false memory. Is creating a false memory what liars do? Yeah. Yes. Dever won't last too long. She's saying that it's the media who contributed to her false memory. Yeah, I remember that BS too. Were there theories that someone named Kelly Dever and said, oh, hey, I know who was there. It was Kelly Dever. And guess what? She was sitting there and she looked at the screen and guess what she did? She looked at the screen and she saw Higgins. And she was like, oh, that's weird. He's been in there for a really long time. Hey, guys, that's my theory. Nobody was saying that. We didn't even know who Kelly Dever was until we saw the witness list. And even then, did we know before the first trial what was going to be said? Absolutely crazy. The Sally Port information wasn't released until after August 2023. So how could the media have done that? She believes that she was a part of the thin blue line. Not anymore. How convenient it was for her to lie when her job was threatened. Yep. Oh no, are we frozen? We should be good. We should be good, guys. Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. All right, it's probably because I'm talking too much. YouTube is like, all right, moving on let's get to the main topic. It has been announced that Joy Taylor and several others, NFL players, former NFL players, have been released from FS1. Now, this news comes out amid all the allegations that were going on in a lawsuit that was filed against Fox by someone we're going to talk about in a minute. All right, we're going to go actually look at the lawsuit. I'm going to show you guys again what's being alleged that some of the people at Fox did, specifically one of the executives there, and what Joy Taylor had to do in part of that. But for now, let's just talk about what's going on with Fox and FS1 and why Joy Taylor could have been released and what they're saying the reason she's gone, even though it might be something else. We'll see. Joy Taylor out as FS1 Armageddon and 3 shows. So not just her show. The network is canceling Breakfast Ball, The Facility, and Speak. Used to be, or formerly known as Speak for Yourself, with a wide variety of replacements under consideration. Here we go. FS1 is making sweeping changes to its programming lineup as 3 of its 5 daily shows are getting canceled. Guys, that is a huge deal. Because we already saw what happened with Skip Bayless and Undisputed ending. That was gone. He tried to make it work with Michael Irving and a couple other people. He had Paul Pierce on there as well. Didn't work out. So that ended. And now we have these 3 shows ending. And I think it has a lot to do with this lawsuit we're going to get into here in a second. In the shakeup, Joy Taylor's 9-year tenure with the network has come to an end. Breakfast Ball, The Facility, and Speak will be no more, leaving the herd with Colin Cowherd and Jason McIntyre, and First Things First with Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, and Kevin Wiles as the only shows remaining in the lineup, the front office sports has confirmed. The news was first reported by The Athletic. A Fox spokesperson declined to comment. Talents whose shows were canceled include Craig Carton. I don't know who that is. Mark something, Danny Partkin. I don't know who these guys are. Emmanuel Acho. We're going to talk about Acho here shortly. LaShawn McCoy, Chase Daniels, James Jones, Paul Pierce, Michael Irving, who can't catch a break. Neither can Keyshawn Johnson. They've got moved around like crazy. And of course, Joy Taylor. It is possible that a couple of talents could remain at the network as it cooks up new shows. Sources told FOS that on-air talents who could be in play for the new FS1 programming include some guy named Tony, Max Kellerman, and Kay Adams. On X, former co-host Jason Whitlock, who called this from the beginning, and he said he knew what was going on. He suggests that a TV version of All the Smoke with former NBA players Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson could be an option. I think Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson are a little too unhinged for that slot. So they would have to change things a lot if they were going to do that. But who knows? Maybe Fox is going in a different direction. The longtime host of ESPN's former show, it bounces down, excuse me, of ESPN's canceled show Around the Horn told FOS he's interested in absolutely everything. He just wants a job. While he plans to be discerning about his future, he envisions a future where he works in both television and digital spaces at the same time. I'm open to talking to anybody and everybody at all times, he says, who's currently taking a long vacation with his family before weighing the next steps. While the scope of the cancellations is stunning, all 3 of the shows were struggling to attract audiences. They were all created by former FS1 boss Charlie Dixon. We're going to talk about Charlie here in a second, who exited the company in April, several months after he was named in lawsuits from former host Julie Stewart and former network hairstylist Faraji. We're going to talk about Faraji shortly. Taylor was also named in Faraji's lawsuit. Now, if you guys don't know why and how Joy Taylor was mentioned in this lawsuit and where Charlie Dixon comes in, well, we predicted that Charlie Dixon was going to be let go. They silently let him go in April. No surprise there. And we knew Joy Taylor was going to be falling. Now, it seems like they're letting her go under the guise of, oh, well, this show just isn't working. It's a network thing. I think it's a lot more than that. All right, check this out. So let's go ahead and get into this lawsuit that was filed by the former hairstylist, Miss Faraji. And again, we went over this and we covered this in another video. If y'all want to see the full breakdown of this lawsuit, I'll leave the video to that in the description. But we have and Faraji, right? And she was going against the Fox Corporation, Fox Sports Holding, and specifically something that was interesting here, Charlie Dixon, Skip Bayless, and Joy Taylor. Now, when it comes to Skip Bayless, something that was interesting here is that Faraji was alleging that Skip Bayless was basically in love with her. Skip Bayless was trying to get her to be his, I don't know what, girlfriend, something. He allegedly offered her money to, I don't know, do what? I'll let you guys use your imagination on this. But specifically talking about Joy Taylor and Charlie Dixon in this, I wanted to skip ahead into this part of the summary. And this gets wild, and some crazy things are alleged against Joy Taylor and her relationship with the former executive Charlie Dixon. What is the title? And look at the title of this. It says, Mr. Dixon gives Miss Taylor undisputed as a reward for having intercourse with him. This is crazy. What is Faraji alleging? In approximately March 2016, Miss Faraji met Miss Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. So they became friends. At the time, Miss Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick or otherwise missed time. Jason Whitlock actually said that he had a show. They tried Joy Taylor out on his show. He was like, guys, I don't like Joy Taylor here. You can get her up out of here. Jason Whitlock also alleged that he saw Joy Taylor and the trouble she would be from a mile away. Looks like he may have called it. So Miss Taylor told Miss Faraji that she had recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in LA. Oh boy. Miss Taylor then befriended Miss Faraji. In approximately May of 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As an executive vice president, Mr. Dixon was responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Miss Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. She had no idea who he was. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Miss Faraji asked who he was. Miss Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Following that night, when Miss Faraji would meet with Miss Taylor for drinks or food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Miss Taylor. Oh my goodness. He would always buy rounds of drinks and or food. From their body language, Miss Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping together. Hey, yo. And although this concerned Miss Faraji, as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married, Miss Faraji kept her opinions to herself. Y'all think that was the right move? In approximately June of that same year, while at work, Miss Faraji noticed Mr. Dixon in the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss Faraji found Miss Taylor and told her excitedly, "Hey, you know the guy who buys our drinks was in the elevator?" What? Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss Faraji and said, "Yo, chill. We're not gonna be talking about that." Explaining who he was. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. Miss Faraji continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong, as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were both married. It's a part of the business, apparently. In approximately July of that year, word spread among Fox's employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal, as it would star Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. It was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV presence to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Joy Taylor, who was a bartender and radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Miss Faraji that he did not want Miss Taylor on the show. But Mr. Dixon was adamant that Joy Taylor would star. Do y'all believe this? Do y'all believe this story? At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Joy Taylor, where she arrived in a provocative clothing. I think she's another one of these poor women that is just allergic to clothing in some ways. It's just certain parts of the body, they just do not do well with clothes. So you got to take the clothes off. Anyway, provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. Shocker. When that did not change Skip Bayless's opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, Skip Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend, Charlie Dixon. Around August of 2016, Miss Faraji attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband and Mr. Dixon and his wife. Awkward. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a relationship, an adult intercourse relationship. Soon after the dinner, Mrs. Taylor's husband found evidence of the appropriate or inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. God. In approximately September of that same year, this is all happening in the span of 6 months, which is insane. In approximately September of that same year, Undisputed started. Joy Taylor requested Miss Faraji do her hair. In approximately November of that same year, after not allowing anyone to touch his hair, Skip Bayless also requested Miss Faraji to do his hair. Now, as we move forward throughout the lawsuit, you see these other titles. Mr. Dixon gropes Miss Faraji after putting her on Undisputed. It gets wild. Mr. Dixon gets rid of female talent members for refusing to have intercourse with him. They had to let this guy go after these allegations. Skip Bayless begins to give Miss Faraji lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek while putting his body against hers and pressing against her chest. Miss Faraji has her hours cut after going on medical leave. What else happened? Miss Faraji remains on Undisputed and is asked to join the herd. Joy Taylor was on the herd, right? Joy Taylor was on the herd for a while. In approximately the summer of 2018, 2 years later, Joy Taylor had moved from Undisputed to the herd with Colin Cowherd. Joy Taylor again requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. Colin Cowherd also requested Miss Faraji to do his hair. Thus, every day, Miss Faraji would do Mr. Bayless's hair for Undisputed and then would do Miss Taylor and Colin Cowherd's hair for the herd. Throughout her entire tenure at Fox, Mr. Cowherd was professional and respectful to Miss Faraji and her co-workers. Shout out to Colin. Around this time, after learning of Miss Taylor's and Mr. Dixon's relationship, Miss Taylor's then fiance broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all that he knew. On information and belief, Mr. Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in a informal exchange for her fiance's silence. It gets crazier, guys. If you want to see this lawsuit, I'll leave it over on the Patreon for you guys because this story by Miss Faraji is insane. What do y'all think about this? Do you think the lawsuit and Joy Taylor being let go is connected? Do you think it's really just the fact that those shows, let's be real, were garbage and Fox doesn't want them anymore? Or do you think it's all of the above? Let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat. Oh, man. Excuse me. I got a cough. Hold on a second. Excuse me. If you guys haven't went through this full lawsuit, it is absolutely insane. They were out here going wild. Everybody loves Miss Faraji. Skip Bayless was trying to marry her up, all that. I'll tell you what I think. I think you need to keep my son. Oh, man. We're not going to hear anything from Joy. She had to sign a big ass settlement with an NDA. Really? Interesting. Hairstylists know stuff, too much stuff. The hairstylists always seem like they know everything. Roll One Up says, now I wonder if Shannon and Joy, oh no, come on now. Good morning to everybody just stopping by. We've got Upside Down Pineapple going on. I don't care what they do. Just don't interrupt my Braves games. You know what I'm saying? Clothing allergies and false memories. Glad I don't suffer from those. Are there any cures? There's only one cure. I think y'all can figure out what they are. It's a conflict of interest. Don't deny that. I doubt she kept quiet because of morals. She smelled a future payout. Shannon has enough trouble. Yeah, Shannon, he just needs to stay out of it. Hair and makeup people know everything because the chair is like a psych appointment. Yeah, they're sitting there thinking they're with their therapist. Oh, it's been a rough day. It's been terrible. Yeah, they were related. She was on the network for almost a decade before Skip's show. Why not let her go? You think Miss Faraji knows a lot? Imagine what Joy Taylor knows. And granted, Charlie Dixon's already been let go, but that doesn't mean he might be looking for other opportunities and might have other opportunities as an executive. And Joy Taylor could be holding on to this and using it at a later date. And I want to find, there was a quote from her that Miss Faraji said Joy Taylor told her something. Where? Let me see if I could find it. Where she essentially says, hey, you gotta use what you got to climb up the ladder. It is what it is. I'm gonna see if I can find it in this lawsuit. We groped her. Oh, here we go. Miss Farazi did not know who to turn to after she was groped by Mr. Dixon, allegedly. But as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor responded with "get over it" and explained that she herself only had her job because of Mr. Dixon, and Miss Faraji only had her job because Miss Taylor requested her. She warned Mr. Dixon could take both away, so she said, shh, don't talk about it. Shut up. And there was something else she said here too, but I'm going to have to find it later. Anyway, absolutely insane. Manicurists are the best gatekeepers of information. Nobody can make you lie on your job. I've been in the position and I don't lie for my boss. She has no integrity. Yeah, this is, hey, and some people, they just have no talent and they got to use whatever they've got to make it to the top. Oh, man. Very interesting. Let me see. Good morning to everyone just stopping by too. And thank you to all 1,000 of y'all who are in the building. 1,300 of you have liked the video as well. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for showing major love in here and liking the video. No integrity. This case is yet another example of SH as revenge. Shaking my head. There is somewhere in here I want to find where Joy Taylor is alleged to have said something here. Oh man, let's see. Miss Taylor. She should warn Miss Taylor to be careful. Following lunch, Miss Faraji called Miss Taylor to convey what Anonymous had stated. Miss Taylor responded with, "No one gives an F about Anonymous or the talk show host who had reported Mr. Dixon." Faraji later observed Miss Taylor's remarks appeared accurate as no actions were taken. There was another part in here I can't find though, where Joy Taylor's just like, hey, you got to do what you got to do. What's not to like? We need a love button. Oh, shout out to Cynthia. I appreciate that. Anyway, I'll post this for you guys later. Let me see. Did I have a couple more things I wanted to go over? You guys know I try not to get into the whole rumors and everything, but this one is very interesting. Y'all know Jay-Z, he's been going through some things lately, and it's looking like he might have to do a paternity test. I know some of y'all are probably up on this information more than I am. I'm just becoming aware of what's going on here. But let's see what Jay-Z's got going on real quick. If y'all haven't yet, again, please make sure that you like the video on your way in. Let's check out what's going on with Jay-Z. So it's alleging that Jay-Z has a secret son out there. Again, I don't stay too much on the whole drama rumor side of things. I like to base things on the facts, look at the evidence that's presented, and come to a conclusion there. But I saw this story and it seems absolutely crazy and insane. So it's been alleged for a while now that Jay-Z has this son that he has just been pushing to the side. He's denying that he's the father of this child. And this man continues to come out and say, no, it needs to be proven. No, this was my mom. This is what happened. I belong to Jay-Z. That's my dad. And Jay-Z's like, man, kid, I don't know who you are. So I want to get into the story and see what's actually being said and what Jay-Z has to say in response to this. Check this out.
Jay-Z is fighting back in court. Jay-Z is responding to a lawsuit filed by Ramir Satterthwaite, a 32-year-old man who claims the rapper is his father. According to a recent filing obtained by E! News, the rapper is accusing Ramir, as well as Ramir's godmother and caretaker, Lily Cooley, of harassing him for years over claims that Ramir is Jay-Z's son.
What?
In the court documents
Crazy.
submitted on June 16th, Jay-Z slams a recent lawsuit that Ramir and Lily filed against him as just the latest in what he says has been decades-long harassment. The documents read, the fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts, and plaintiffs' continued harassment of defendant and disregard of those orders has already resulted in a contempt order.
Wow.
The filing asks that a judge allow Jay-Z additional time to respond to the lawsuit, claiming that despite the lawsuit being filed on May 6th, the suit was not properly served, and Jay-Z did not learn of its existence until June 3rd. The Grammy winner's legal team therefore requests an additional 4 weeks to evaluate the complaint and determine how to respond or otherwise plead.
Dang.
The lawsuit also alleges that Jay-Z has neither affirmatively acknowledged nor legally denied his parental relationship with Ramir. E! News has reached out to both Jay-Z and Ramir for comment, but has not yet heard back.
Very interesting. So there's, again, I see y'all talking about in the chat, it's being alleged that the reason this has all been hushed is because not only is this other man, I guess he's a man at this point, not only is this man alleging that he's Jay-Z's son, but he's saying Jay-Z's mother had him when she was underage. So, I mean, people have been going crazy on this with Jay-Z. They're like, man, Jay-Z, if what you're saying is true, then just do what you got to do, prove that it's not your son, and move on from it, right? Well, now it seems like Jay-Z is taking it to the next level, and we've got this article from Us News. They say Jay-Z accuses man who claims to be his secret son of harassment, making fabricated claims in court. I don't know how he's going to fight this, but let's see what he's trying to do. Jay-Z fired back at the man claiming to be his secret son for his fabricated allegations and asked the judge to intervene. Us Weekly can exclusively report. According to court documents obtained by Us, Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, who knew, called the recent federal lawsuit brought by Ramir Satterthwaite. We're just going to call him Ramir S. We'll just call him Ramir. Just the latest in Ramir and his caregiver's decade-long harassment of Jay-Z. How old is this guy? The fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts, and Ramir's continued harassment of Jay-Z and his disregard for those orders has already resulted in a contempt order. Jay-Z, 55, said he only learned about Ramir's new lawsuit on June 3rd. He asked the court for additional time to put together his official response. His lawyer argued Jay-Z, I wonder if that's Alex Spiro in this one. Jay-Z will be irreparably prejudiced without additional time to evaluate and prepare his response to the complaint. Roc Nation's founder's attorney said they contacted Ramir's caregiver to request additional time to respond, but she hung up on her. Wow. Ramir, 31, filed the federal lawsuit against Jay-Z on May 6th. He's a 31-year-old man. All right. The case, filed without a lawyer, accused the music mogul of attempting to keep him silent about Jay-Z being his father. Jay-Z is the biological father of Ramir, his complaint alleged. Ramir claimed his mother, Wanda, had relations with Jay-Z in the 1990s. Boy, Jay-Z is getting attacked for everything he did in the 1990s these days. He said his mother is now deceased. Oh, man. Rest in peace to his mom. He said he has been cared for by his grandmother, who faced unrelenting efforts by Jay-Z and his enablers to suppress the truth and silence those who dared to speak it. Ramir explained he filed paternity suits against Jay-Z, but they were dismissed. Not a great look. Ramir claimed the mogul and his teams committed fraud upon multiple courts, misrepresented the facts, and exploited legal systems in multiple jurisdictions to suppress Ramir's paternity claim and prevent legal accountability. He also suggests Jay-Z's celebrity played a role in the cases being dismissed. Now, here we go. One case in New Jersey was dismissed after a judge found it did not have jurisdiction over Jay-Z, according to a 2015 report from Page 6. Ramir also accused Jay-Z of consistently refusing to submit a DNA test. That's his legal right. He said he has chosen to instead to obstruct and manipulate the legal process. Ramir claimed his car was shot 6 times, which he took as a clear message to intend to silence him. I mean, if you were going to, oh my gosh. In his suit, Ramir said he was not seeking back child support, but damages from Jay-Z for his alleged actions over the years. Specifically, he said he suffered from harm due to wrongful dismissal of his paternity suit seeking child support and college funds. In addition, he said he suffered emotional and psychological distress, anxiety, public embarrassment, and stress-induced health and mental health complications. His caretaker denied all claims of wrongdoing. The judge has yet to rule on the matter. Jay-Z has been married to Beyonce since 2008. The superstar couple have 3 children, Blue Ivy, born 2012, and twins Rumi and Sir Carter, born in 2017. As Us Weekly previously reported, Nicki Minaj has criticized Jay-Z this week on social media. Nicki, as much as love Nicki Minaj's music, she needs to mind her business. She got a lot going on too. She brought up Ramir's paternity claims while tweeting about the rapper. Again, guys, none of this has been verified. I just thought it was an interesting story. I want to know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Do you think this is Jay-Z's kid, and why? Do you believe Jay-Z should just end this thing and submit a DNA test so we don't have to hear about Ramir anymore? Do you think Ramir is telling the truth and this is actually his father? I want to know what y'all think. A little celebrity news gossip. I don't even know what to call it. I want to see this lawsuit though, so we may get into that at a later date. Let me know what y'all think about this. My Lord, man. I'm gonna find me an island and I'm out of here. I cannot do it. I cannot do it with some of these stories that come out are insane. Oh man. Absolutely insane. What do y'all think? Nicki's husband, yeah, Nicki needs to mind her own business, respectfully. I think it could be anything is possible. New baby, who this? Oh, man. Take the test and put it to rest. Jay-Z knows that's his son. I don't know if I would do it. Jay-Z seems like he's willing to fight, and it worked out from him the last time when Mr. Tony Busby and Jane Doe were trying to go at Jay-Z. So maybe Jay-Z, he's just not going to back down. He's not going to cave. He's not going to do what people say they think he should do, and he's not going to be forced to do anything. It worked out for him so far. I love how people say, just give your DNA. Get the FOH. Yeah. What else did he say? Jay-Z might not want his DNA in the database if he's tied to crimes. Most people's DNA is already in the databases, I think. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Give him 10 years and let him rehabilitate while he's doing his time. The judge knows who Diddy really is. I believe they are done. They are not done with homeboy. Her husband had to ask permission to be at the birth of their child. What? Yeah, Nikki needs to chill out. He's got the judges in his pocket. All right, come on. Really? Y'all think? I don't know. He invested hundreds of millions in Brooklyn and Manhattan, so he's protected. I don't know. This is why I don't like covering this stuff. And Amy says she posted about it 6 months ago. She dropped the link for y'all in the chat. Make sure y'all go show her some love and check out Amy. I'm gonna actually, let me drop the link to Amy's channel in the chat. The link to subscribe to Amy's channel is in the description. Y'all go over there, show her some love, and hit that subscribe button. She's over 30,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. Not surprising though. Let me see. I'm gonna start telling my kid I don't have one. That ClassE. That, hey, don't you do it. No. No, I got alibis. Nope. Don't you do that. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't want somebody coming out and saying some crazy stuff about me. I'm going into hiding. I might be out of here, guys. It might be time. Shout out to Mrs. Doolittle, first live here. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all being here. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and end it there. Again, if you haven't yet, please make sure you like the video on your way out. Likes are free. It helps the channel continue to grow. You guys know I asked for it. I'm going to be begging for likes until I'm no longer on YouTube. Like the video. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we go live or drop a new video. We'll be back here tomorrow morning for another episode of the show. Maybe we'll go through a couple of these lawsuits. We might do a Kelly Dever rewind rewind tomorrow too, because man, that was some spicy testimony there. Amy said, yeah, I have some explaining to do. No, see, we got to get out of here, Amy. All right, again, thank you to everybody who went the extra mile and dropped the super chats. I don't want to forget y'all before we get out of here. Big shout out to Les Cleaver, my guy, Brock in the building, Cynthia Hearts in blue, Slim Life, New Jersey, Kira Hampton coming through in the clutch, says it's Taco Tuesday. Hope y'all have a great day. Hope you have a great day as well, Kara. Hope you have a great day on purpose. And then as always, of course, my awesome, amazing Amy in here supporting as well. Hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. As always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Shout out to y'all.